Hey, what's up, family? I'm just introducing to you something a little new today. This right here is, I'm just going to entitle it Real Talk with Doc and FeMo. You know what I mean? It's my brother right here to my left, DLC.
DLC in the building.
You know
Peace,
what I
family. Peace.
mean? Y'all know me. It's FeMo. So, me and my brother was just sitting here talking, and we were talking about a lot of different topics. And um, what was it you said, bro? You said that you can be. Oh, we were talking about being judged at your worst moment.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So we all know that we've all had different situations in life where we haven't been at our best, or we haven't exemplified who we really were in that particular moment. Now, a lot of that could have been due to the extremities of the moment that we were in. Because sometimes extreme situations cause extreme measures. It makes you do extreme things, which would contribute to you getting out of character and being a version of somebody that other people may not have, being a version of yourself, excuse me, that people are not used to seeing or may have never seen. So we want to talk about that, a little bit. We're going to touch on that a little bit. We're going to talk about, is it fair? Is it unfair? You know what I mean? And we definitely want to get some feedback on it. But yeah, bro. So being judged at your worst moment. Let's go on and dive into it, man. Let's talk about the will. We can start off. We can start off talking about the Will Smith situation with Chris Rock.
Well, see, that's something. That's what started that conversation.
Yeah.
And the point that we kind of arrived at is a lot of people just looked at the right or wrong from that situation instead of how much stress and pressure had been put on that man and how well he had handled himself his whole entire life.
And we talking about Will, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's been under a microscope since a teenager.
Right.
Right?
Fresh Prince.
Yeah. Him. It's a number of people we can list that has been under a microscope since a teenager. We've watched them go through drug addiction. We've watched them grow through different sexual levels and different, places at their life.
Yeah.
You can't really dig up much about that man where he stepped out of character and where he's been a bad representation of anything, whether it's a man, whether it was a black man, whether it was a father, whether it was a husband.
Yeah.
Like you could have your own critiques about the sexual preferences and this, that, the third, but as far as physically being there and nurturing and being supportive, you don't really have a lot to say negative about him. So, I mean, we got to that point where it was like, just be careful judging people at their worst moment. Because what if it were you?
Absolutely.
What if it were you that made this mistake? Or let's just say it wasn't a mistake. Because sometimes certain stuff can happen where you might want trouble right now.
Yeah. I mean, because let's be honest now. There are times when we just really want all the smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're in a moment like that, it's really nothing, too much of nothing nobody can say to keep you from getting it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So... but there are, like you said, there are several different variables to that. Yeah. There are situations where you want to try to do the right thing, and you want to do what's appealing to the public eye. But depending upon what that situation is, like what I mean. Like me, I'm gonna go me personally, man. I grew up. You couldn't talk about my mama, bro. I don't care who you was or whatever. If you said something about my mama, you was gonna get it. Like point blank, I didn't play that. But then my mama. I got into a couple of scuffles in school and stuff like that behind that same topic that I just told y'all about. My mom was like, well, that ain't true about me, so why would you let that bother you? I'm like, because you my mama.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hear what you saying, but you my mama and ain't nobody gonna talk about you.
And we do that in a lot of different scenarios.
Yeah.
We do it with God.
Yeah.
And we know he don't need defending.
Right. We talking about the person who created everything that we see.
And I mean, other than just trying to make sure that a certain word is right or something like that. I'm not speaking about that. I mean, it's actually people who will get offended and stand up and defend God like he can't defend himself.
Right. Like he need our help with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times what'll happen is you'll be the real problem. Mm-hmm. A lot of your worst moments, you create yourself because of circumstances.
Yeah.
But none of us really want to be judged by that worst moment when we know who we really are.
At the core, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Me personally, if I had to be judged by my worst moments, the world would never deal with me.
Right. Yeah. Because honestly, we're talking about worst moment in a singular phase, but we've had a lot of moments where we were at our worst too. So, I mean, it kind of contribute to what you're saying. Like, what if we were judged by those? See, honestly, that's what makes me show more love and compassion towards people, because when I look in the mirror, I see a person who's been in moments, who's had a lot of moments where he wasn't at his best. And I wouldn't want people judging me based on that, because in that moment, that's not who I was. You got to see a different side of me in that particular moment, but that doesn't give anybody the right to make that the total sum of who I am. So I wouldn't want to do that to another person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely feel what you're saying,
and
bro.
then here's the thing. Look how many of your worst moments isn't known. I have a real close friend right now.
Yeah.
Many, many, many moons ago.
Okay.
Because I'm a man of a certain age. You know, many, many moons ago.
Yeah.
I'm in a car.
Yeah.
Shots are fired into a residence with a young man and his mother, and at the time I didn't know, but one of my little cousins in the house.
Wow.
And
you didn't even know.
It wasn't me doing it, but I was in the car, and here's the thing. I actually was a part of what was going on, but this is the point that I'm making. One of my best friends today, that was his house. He don't even know I was in the car. And it wasn't me that did it. I was trying to talk him out of it, but I was trying to talk him out of it from a standpoint like, look, you going to jail.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But just the fact that I was there.
Preventive measures.
Yeah, just know if he knew that I was there.
Right.
He could hold that against me, and I could, everything that he know about me could go out the window.
Yeah, because that was definitely one of your worst moments.
And it's still not fair.
Right.
Because the fair way to do it is take that moment and the good moments and make a rational decision. Of whether I disturb your comfort of life at this point.
Rational oftentimes becomes absent when you're in the moment, depending upon where you are in that particular moment. You know what I'm saying? Because like me, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know, I thank God, man, that my temper has came like a long way. That it ain't what it used to be now. I still do have areas that I need to work on in regards to.
I'm praying to God for a worse temper.
Hey, well, look, hey, look. I definitely don't want that, because you know I definitely wouldn't want to see that version of myself. But you know what I mean. But you understand what I'm saying.
No,
man.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what our struggle is. You've always stood on things, right? I've always gave too many passes and then just spaz and jump out the window.
Yeah.
So when I say a worse temper, I mean just enough to protect my peace.
Yeah.
A bad enough temper to say, you know what? You can get out of my car.
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Instead of, I'm going to take you here, in these regular places, and in my mind think, okay, well, I'm not going to deal with you after I get you out the car.
Right.
I mean it from that standpoint. So I said it like in a funny way, but...
No.
Yeah, but I don't want to, I don't want to be a savage at this age.
Right. That's what I like to call relative humor, because it's humorous. It's a humorous gesture, but it's a relative statement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And anything, honestly, man, you know, whether it be a humorous, you know, we have to learn to use all of who we are to improve the quality of life of other people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, man, you know, we can be so serious till we forget that we have a sense of humor. And sometimes a sense of humor might be that might reach 100 people.
Yeah.
Because that's all they can relate to is a sense of humor. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate that. You know, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
this is such a refined, filtered version of me.
Yeah.
In the future, y'all are going to get to see, like, we move a whole lot different than a lot of people, and it comes from a space where we can be comfortable.
Yeah.
I know who this man is.
Yeah, and likewise, I know
you see
who
what
he
I'm saying?
is. Right.
So I don't have to. A lot of the things that y'all would have to worry about and be defensive and different things like that, you know, I don't have to check that.
Right.
I don't have to worry about, is this the threat? I can stand beside this and look for threats.
Right. Exactly. You know what I mean?
That makes the difference.
Yeah. It makes a 200% difference, man. So honestly, I'm grateful that honestly, man, all the moments that we have both had that individually that we are ashamed of, individually, collectively, whatever the case may be, because we done been in some stuff together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
y'all will never know. We're not romancing those.
You know what I mean? God covered us in those particular moments because he knew that they were for a greater good, and this is now like the greater good. We never thought about it. We wasn't thinking about podcasts. Wasn't even out when we was going through that stuff. No. Nobody was even doing that. We didn't even have cell phones. That's how far this go back.
And what we want to do?
There was no YouTube.
Yeah.
None of this stuff. There was no social media.
Beeper.
Right. Yeah. Pagers.
Yeah. Look, Google it.
Motorola.
Google it. You have no idea what a pager is.
If you Google Motorola, pages are definitely one of the first things to come up.
With the different cases.
Yeah. Light up screens and all.
But at the end of the day, man, that whole journey puts you in a position to where if you can get naked and take off your pride, your ego, and everything else, you not only can see yourself, but you'll be able to probably help so many people not have to step in those puddles.
Yeah.
And we stepped in.
And I'm gonna say this too, man, because that's a jewel. That's a definite jewel that you just dropped. But I want to kind of reiterate this because we was talking about this the other night on our 3 the Hard Way podcast. Yeah, we got more than one.
Are we coming? So, please support.
So
like, subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe definitely. The other night we were talking about pride, and I made the statement about pride, and this was my own personal view, but it was able to help him, and it was able to help my man Double too when we was doing our podcast the other night. I said that in regards to pride, I don't like to use the cliche phrase that everybody uses because oftentimes when people talk about pride, they say put your pride to the side. Well, I made the statement. I said, well, I don't like to put my pride to the side because then it's still too close to me. I like to take it off so it's not a part of me. So that in that particular moment, I can if I take my pride off, I know that it's not a part of anything that I got going on. You know what I mean? Because I can take it off and throw it outside. It ain't close to me. You know what I mean? And when you put something that can cause problems in close proximity to you, it's almost saying like you still want a problem.
Yeah.
Because you allow it to be too close to you. You know what I'm saying? And you already know that it's a problem.
And just imagine you in that heated argument, right?
Yeah.
And when you could have walked away, you got the gun right beside you.
Right.
You got somebody who's willing to die about you right beside
you. Yeah.
It could bring out something different.
Yeah.
That could cause the whole situation to erupt. Yeah. You got to be careful, and then too, you got to have enough humility to take your pride all the way off. Because I love that dynamic right there.
Yeah, man.
All the way off.
Yeah.
When you take it all the way off, you can see clear.
Yeah. And
it's intoxicating.
Yeah. And see, you know what? That's what it's all about, man. Oftentimes we make moves or decisions or whatever the case may be with tainted vision. You know what I mean? And what you're saying is, if you take your pride off and get everything else that's out the way that could be a problem, it makes your vision much more clear.
Yeah.
And who wants to make we living in a time like, man, there's a lot going on, and we honestly, and I'm gonna say this not just about me and you, but I'm gonna say this to the people that's watching. We can't afford to make those type of decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's too much counting on it. God has people assigned to me. He got people assigned to you. He got people assigned to people that's watching this podcast right now. So the fact that God has something better for you to get to, all of those things could ultimately make you contribute to you making a decision that's going to cause you to go in the opposite direction of what God is calling you to. You know what I mean? And we're also living in a society where being different is looked at as being a coward or being a square, so to speak, or...
Yo, it's funny you say that, right?
Yeah.
I take pride in telling people I'm a punk. Now, you been knowing.
Yeah.
So you already know what it is.
Yeah.
But the reason why I take pride in that is because of 2 reasons. For one, I don't have anything to prove to anybody. And if you're ever in a situation where you legally have to do anything,
right,
you don't need to be the aggressor anyway.
Right.
Maybe the pump won't be so bad when it saves you from doing 50 years,
right,
50 Christmases, 50 Thanksgivings, 50 New Years away from your family.
Or possibly never seeing another one again.
And let me add this. Once you actually do your research, I'm willing to bet you that 8 out of 10 times you're the problem.
Right. But you know what? That's too much like being real with yourself, which is something, and I'm not pointing fingers, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about as a whole that's something that all of us have failed at. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Always
it's a life struggle.
Across the board. Like, we've all done that. So
it's a life struggle.
Anything that we're talking about on this podcast, guys, is to better improve the quality of life of the people that are watching and the people that are around us. You know what I mean? Because there was a point in time in my life, I knew what a role model was because I had some in my life, but I didn't know how to be one. You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are under the assumption that just because you've been around something, you know how to do it. Nah, not true. In order to know how to do that, you have to be in a space. You got to be in a totally different mental space. Like, you have to be in that space where God can really speak to you and talk to you and guide you and direct. That's what it takes to be a role model. Because the thing about it is, being a role model, it comes with a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of things that you can't do to be a role model. You know what I mean? So, just wanted to throw that in there, man. But we just want to, definitely improve the quality of life of everybody that is watching and things like that. And I feel like this was a very good topic for us to touch on because there's a lot of judgment going on with no understanding. So if you're making judgment on people with no understanding of what's going on, you're not making proper judgment. And to go a step further, it's not your job to judge anyway, because most people that judge all the time are the first people who don't want to be judged.
Yeah. It's been my experience that people who know everything normally the brokest. The people who got the most to say about everything normally be the ones that ain't get nothing done because they ain't put no action behind it. And one thing I want y'all to take away from this, don't be afraid to self-evaluate.
Point blank.
But while doing that, make sure that everything you do is a step closer to your relationship with God. Then you'll know how to hear his voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm willing to bet you, anybody who hears my voice on this, I can't call you and tell you I'm your father. Because you know your father's voice.
Right.
Once you get to a certain place, and see, free will is tricky. Because certain things you'll see, they only do what they supposed to do. You only see an ant go forward and continue to work. You never see him go backwards. See, we can go backwards and dig into stuff and wallow in stuff instead of just walking in our purpose and understanding that everything is designed for our good.
Yeah, and that takes wisdom. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
And the ultimate wisdom that we need on anything comes from God. That's why Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 is my favorite scripture. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. You know what I mean? And so the key word in everything that's being said in that particular scripture, if you notice, it said more than one time, is all.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't give him a portion of it or half of it or a small percentage. Without all of it, he can't do what he needs to do with it. So you got to keep that in mind. You know what I mean?
And then we're going to wrap up. But one thing I want y'all to understand is, I think the safest way you can move is if you don't understand something, just love it.
Yeah. Learn to love what you don't understand.
Yeah, if you love it, then you don't have to wallow in how you mistreated, misdiagnosed, or miss your blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, man, y'all just try to be better.
Yeah.
Help us to be better. Yeah. Like and subscribe.
We're going to do this thing.
And we're going to put the cash up down there so y'all can support. We're doing all that. But guess what? Y'all will get to see what we're doing with it. Yeah. We got big things coming, man.
Yeah, so y'all just be on the lookout for us. This right here is this segment of Fee Motivations. This is my movement is Fee Motivations, but this right here, this podcast in particular, because y'all gonna see me and him a lot, but y'all gonna also see the other one. But right now, this is Real Talk with Doc and FeMo. You know what I mean? And so that's what we want to introduce to y'all.
All of it gonna be one umbrella.
It's gonna be one umbrella.
Family.
Yeah.
So anybody who see this and you didn't see me somewhere else, man, let me tell you something. I ain't sitting beside nothing that ain't authentic, man. Support this man. Support me. Support us. So we can support each other. Like-minded people come together. We can't be stopped.
That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? So we appreciate the support in advance. You know, it's your boy FeMo signing off with my man Doc. You know what I mean? We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
We're gonna reach down and get them kids.
We're gonna get them too. Yeah, and we're gonna need y'all. We're gonna need y'all's help to do it. So listen, I'm saying thanks in advance because I have faith that you guys are gonna do what we need y'all to do to help us do what we need to do as a community.
Peace and love.
As a people. Peace and love. We love y'all. We signing off. We'll see y'all next time. All right.